Please excuse the audio on Vince's voice for this episode of Ltyf. I don't know what fucking happened, but it's a good one, so shut up and listen. I love you.
I was just thinking about fucking Vince Staples being a gangbanger on camera, and the chick he was with was like, I'm trying to go watch Game of Thrones, and Vince Staples was like, that's on the dead, homie. He's like, I never watched Game of Thrones a day in my life, but let's go.
Let's go. Oh, speaking of Game of Thrones, did you hear about the Starbucks cup?
Yes, I saw it.
You saw that?
Yeah, that's dumb.
I don't understand how that happened.
Dude, that's not even the worst of the inconsistencies this season. With that, yeah, they fucked up. Like,
Dude, a coffee cup
I
though?
didn't even notice it in the episode.
No, of course not, but I rewound it.
Screenshot later.
Yeah.
Saw it online,
I definitely rewound it and paused it.
Order up, one venti, ups a dragon Lutely for Daenerys Targaryen. There you are, child. Now remember, don't drink this on set. Put it in your locker. That's a good girl.
The inconsistencies within the script of like them calling Gendry Waters Gendry Rivers like the wrong surname. He was a bastard of Robert Baratheon, but he would have been Gendry Waters and not Gendry Rivers because he's not from the Tully family.
Jesus Christ.
And then Tormund, like when he was praising Jon Snow, he's like, this fucking guy climbed on top of a dragon. Who does that? Who's crazy enough to climb on a dragon? Well, you did, Tormund, back in season 7 when you guys were stuck north of the wall and the Night King's armies were closing in around you, and Daenerys fucking flew in on the dragons and saved them, and they all had to climb on for her to escape, and the Night King shot down her other dragon. Tormund climbed onto that dragon too. So like, why is he saying, wow, Jon Snow's a different breed of man that climbs on it? What kind of man climbs on a dragon?
Well, I think it's like the equivalent though of like who just gets into a fighter jet without any training and flies overseas or something like that. But like if you're a passenger, it's different.
Right.
Like he didn't hop on and try to dominate the dragon. He
Right.
just was like along for the ride.
Just the inconsistencies, like, or the
dragon's like, who the fuck is this
or
guy?
the fucking impossibility of
A dragon?
Greyjoy shooting the dragon down out of the sky with a ballista attached to a fucking navy.
You think that's impossible? What do you mean?
Well, okay, so you're on a ship with the
Yeah.
with the waves rocking. You have a giant ballista. You're trying to shoot a fucking bolt up into the air, first of all, so you might need to arc it. You're, I don't know, a kilometer away from these dragons. The dragon itself is also moving at maybe 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So not only are you fighting the waves of the ocean, but you're trying to shoot a fucking bolt a kilometer away at a rapidly moving target, and you're going to nail it twice with the first two bolts and drop it right in.
Yeah, he got it twice in a row.
What? Like, that's...
And supposedly that's a brand new weapon.
Yeah.
Like no one's ever used it before.
Yeah.
Really. And
Like-
he's just like, I'm the best in the world at this already.
Yeah, and dude, there's just no way you're... I mean, even if it was stationary on land and not on a fucking waves on a boat, like, even still, that's a miraculous shot.
Yeah.
And then also, Cersei is standing up on her towers with a half dozen of those ballistas aimed down at Dany and her men.
And
like,
doesn't just
in the
destroy
open
them.
field. And Tyrion just walks right up to go have...
Well, he doesn't walk, he wobbles.
Well, he does waddle. He does a little waddle up there. But she sent Bronn to murder him with the crossbow. And then she's like, oh, obviously Bronn failed at killing him, who I just sent to kill him. But here he is right in front of me within fucking crossbow shooting range, and she doesn't... No one shoots her?
I was
Like,
80% sure that he was going to die in that scene.
I thought she was just going to start raining down on everyone.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you brought your army.
Well, they brought like 12 people.
Well, like Dany and that whole battalion of Unsullied were right there.
But
Dany's there, Tyrion's there. Like, easily kill those people.
But I'm saying like the number of infantry she brought with them like would have done nothing.
Yeah.
Like they could have killed all of them right there.
Right.
I mean,
they were expecting her not to attack.
It's
them.
just suspense.
But it just doesn't. Yeah, it's like doesn't make sense with Cersei's character to not just have Tyrion execute her right there in front.
But then they're trying to show her
Missandei, who no one gives shit about except the dude with no dick. Like, he's the only guy that cares about her.
But supposedly he has a dick. I thought he does have a dick. He doesn't have testicles.
Oh, well, that's
because I think he alluded I'm not a Ken doll down there. I got a piece. I just can't have a baby.
Gotcha. I guess in the books there, it's straight. They take everything.
Everything?
So it's different.
What's with that culture in removing of the genitals of males in this show?
I don't know a lot about that.
I don't understand. But there's so many people in that show that don't have dicks.
Yeah. I don't know if that was like a widespread thing they did in medieval times. Just chop people's dick. And I mean, I know that eunuchs existed, but... yeah, there's a lot of them in that.
Oh, hey, this sort of ties into a topic that I have.
Oh,
here we go. The dickless men. So, speaking of no dicks.
So is dickless and ballless, or just ballless? Like, or just dickless? Are there
if
different
you
terms
removed
for it?
my dick, I'd be like, can you please remove my balls?
Yeah, why would you do
that? I don't want my balls to begin with.
Yeah,
but if you remove my dick, then just take it all,
You're
man.
just trying to shove your balls up in
having just a dick is one thing, but just a sack and just a flat base surface above your balls, just a little nub, a little stump. Man. Oh, thank you.
Such a nightmare, dude.
We'll give you the burden of balls without the pleasure of a dick.
The burden of balls. That's the fucking story of manhood right there. Swinging.
Oh, that could be a children's book.
The burden of balls.
The burden of balls.
Now listen up, son, because you're 12 now.
Let me tell you about the burden of balls.
Things are happening that you might not be ready for. It's going to get real heavy down there. Sometimes they slap your ass.
So, first of all, I don't know... I'm assuming they got a white, glowing, hot blade to remove your dick, to cauterize it.
Why do you assume? Okay.
Because...
I was like, why do you assume that? Well,
because think how much blood you would lose out of your dick. Right. And back when you stubbed your toe and you died, 6 weeks later,
there's a lot of veins down there.
If you remove your dick back then, you're going down. You're not... That's just a death sentence.
This is hurting me.
Check if your dick is still there.
Holy shit. Yeah, feeling my dick right now.
But, okay, so in China, this is not funny, but...
We'll make it that way.
In China, so transgender people in China are considered mentally ill. So they're not welcomed. There's not a whole lot of openness towards them. It requires family consent before you can even get even close to getting your foot in the door to having a doctor perform the surgery on you. Your family has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're going to bring us dishonor? No fucking way.
Right. Unless you have just the coolest family.
Yeah. They're like, we don't care at all about honor.
I'm surprised there's
We're honorless.
China to get your foot into that where they'll change your sex for you at all.
They have doors. They're like those paper ones though. Yeah. Right? What are those called? The paper walls.
Like a rice screen, I think.
Rice screen?
I'm thinking of Japanese screens.
There's we do rices and everything around here. They have no hormone treatment because it's illegal, right? So they have to get black market hormone drugs. So they're off-brand black market. They don't know exactly the side effects or anything. They just are told this is hormone drugs. Right. Take them.
This is powdered rhino dick.
Yeah, and so obviously there are a lot of terrible side effects deep depression and mood swings and
turning from a woman into a man suddenly.
Remember that old 90s, I think it was Ninja Turtles 2 with the fucked up mutated snapping turtle and the wolf.
Yeah, the fucked up snapping turtle. You're thinking of Taka and Razor.
Oh my god, I can't believe you even pulled those names out, dude.
The snapping turtle.
That's amazing. And Shredder was their pimp. So not only do they have to get black market hormone drugs, but they also are forced to sometimes...
They turn them into giant
turtles. Shredder's just puts on his glasses. He's like, all right, so I have you. What did you want? You wanted this drug?
Yeah.
Okay, take it at your own risk, but I got a lot of it.
There's a few side effects. I mean, it's definitely going to shrink
your babies. No one's gonna get that, dude. No one is gonna get that.
Everyone lived through the 90s. We all saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What the fuck?
But they're forced to perform self-surgery because no one will do it for them.
Oh, well, I mean...
And there are recorded cases of people cutting their own genitalia off, like at home.
Yeah, there's recorded cases of people doing that aren't even trying to become a woman or a man, or they just like, chop my dick off.
Yeah, well,
I've seen the videos of guys just hammering nails through their cock into a plank.
Oh yeah, the Pain Olympics.
Yeah, like when we were kids and we were downloading the shit off LimeWire.
I forgot about that, dude.
Flaying their penises open into fucking. It looks like the Demogorgon's face. And it's just shreds of dick hanging there. Terrible. Snapping their dicks in mouse traps.
I mean, there is a world beyond ours that is inconceivable to me that people are just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
It's too
I mean,
bad.
look, you're into what you're into, but I don't condone it.
Label as mental illness, and I'm not anyone to judge anyone else for how they feel if you are a man trapped in a woman's body or vice versa.
You could consider any sort of body modification a form of mental illness.
Yeah.
If you consider transgender people to be mentally ill, then you could consider bodybuilders to be mentally, or people who get tattooed from head to toe mentally, or people who get crazy amount of piercings. Anything really. I mean,
it just proves that you cannot criminalize what people want to do with their own bodies. Like, you can't criminalize...
And why does the government need to be involved with that? Like, I don't understand.
That's how I feel too. If there are doctors or qualified medical professionals who have deemed this procedure safe and have carried it out with success and have helped people deal with a mental illness, if they want to call it a mental illness, and the treatment is to give them a sex change, then why is the government saying, no, you can't do that unless you jump through all these hoops first? Like, I'm just a believer that the government should have as little power over the individual's autonomy as possible. So
yeah.
You can't tell me I can't smoke weed. You can't tell me I can't turn my dick inside out. You can't tell me like anything like that. Like, you just don't.
If you pay taxes, you should be able to cut your penis off.
Right.
Like, I pay you, I want my penis gone.
I agree.
So anyways,
that kind of fucking leads into this whole abortion. It seems like abortion becomes the hot fucking button debate every time we start leading into elections. It divides people so strongly. It's like you either think it's murder and there's no abortions allowed for anyone, or you don't think that anyone should be able to tell a woman she can't have an abortion, a safe abortion, and no one, you know what I mean? Like, there's no middle ground. People just, no one can see any nuance. It's either you're murdering babies,
it's black and white,
the devil,
yeah,
or stop telling me what I can and can't do with my own body. Like,
plus, we need to be real about the fact that, like, look, guys, there's almost 8 billion of us.
Yeah.
And it's the amount of people is accelerating very fast. Right. And before we know it, there's going to be 15 billion. And then it's going to just keep going.
All the resources on the planet down to nothing.
We're running out of room. We're running out of resources. So maybe we should consider, like, maybe not everyone should pop out another person anytime, anywhere. Like,
yeah, stop acting like abortion clinics are just like fucking chicken factories where there's just women with their legs in stirrups going down a conveyor belt getting fucking rocket punched in the cooter, and their baby's just coming out a fucking fetus smoothie. Yeah, they're coming in every week. They're just like, got a new one, doc, and he just like punches the fucking fetus out.
They're going down the conveyor belt, and Shredder's just like, babies, and just fists him in the vagina with his claw. Fucking I
mean, that's the way. If you talk,
that's the way that people who are against it view it. They think Shredder's there fisting,
and they think the women that are doing it are there, like they have a punch card, and they're just there's like 10 fucking Shredder fists to the cooter, and your 11th is free. Daddy, knock me up again so I can get Shredder fisted. The baby's in the womb. Oh God, the Shredder punch is coming. Like, no, there's no consciousness. There's no life in there.
The one thing that I tend to disagree with if you get an abortion when you have like 3 months left in your pregnancy, it's like okay, you waited a pretty long time.
That's where I mean I agree too. We have to
like at that point just like let someone adopt it.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, you know what? Never mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And like I said,
just give it up.
People will use that like as to bolster their argument of like, this is the procedure to terminate a 23 or 24 week pregnancy, you know? But most places where abortion is legal, to terminate a pregnancy that far along, it has to be, they either have to have a disease or it has to be a danger to the mother.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, yeah, you're terminating a 24-week pregnancy, but my baby is a cyclops. Like, legitimately, my baby will be born with a head 3 times too big and a cyclops eye and 1 tooth, and it'll fucking...
And the doctors are like, please give birth to this.
Right.
We need to see it. We need to study it.
Hormones and turn it into a fucking snapping turtle.
The Buffalo Bills are going to draft it. Another China story. Nothing to do with the government, but it's a guy. So
is he a Chinese guy?
He is a Chinese guy. According to the Oriental Daily, which aren't we not supposed to say that?
I don't know. Is it an Oriental that? See,
I
don't want to say it.
No, it's a Chinese news fucking platform.
I mean, I guess
they call it the Oriental Daily.
That's fine then.
So, you know, if that's what it's called, I'm just going to say it. 63-year-old man from China had to vomit after a heavy night of drinking. He had been feeling some pain in his throat for quite a while, but never got it checked out. While vomiting, he suddenly felt a sharp pain in his throat, followed by a meatball-like presence in his mouth. Thinking he had puked up a part of his body, he quickly found some water to swallow it back down where it came from. After an examination, the meatball was found to be a tumor grown from his esophagus up into his throat. And he puked it out. And then he swallowed it back down. He's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, dude.
What did I just puke up? I'm going to swallow it back down. I'll just swallow it back down.
That's so relatable. Like, legitimately, if I thought I was puking up a part of my body, I'd probably try to swallow it.
He's just like, guys. Guys.
It's just my esophagus is prolapsing into my mouth. I need to swallow it back down.
Oh, just a meatball-like thing in your mouth from your... I would just assume it was some food that I ate, but...
Yeah.
He was like, no, this is definitely like a part of my body.
Well, if he's feeling the pain in his throat, you know, and he's like, oh man, I feel like there's like this weird pain lump in my throat. And it's like, I don't know, maybe like my throat is swollen, maybe I have a swollen gland. And then he just throws up the lump that he's having the pain in. And he starts squishing it around and he's like, that kind of feels like a meatball.
The doctor's like, dude, you hit the lottery. You puked out your own tumor.
Yeah.
Like you saved yourself. And then you swallowed it again.
And he's like, and now it's taking root in your stomach.
Yeah.
Now you have a stomach tumor.
Now it's growing into a human.
Yeah, now you have a human inside your stomach.
Shredder's just in the corner, just like with a clipboard, just like,
perfect.
This is my turn. Is it my time yet?
It's going perfectly to plan.
I love that Shredder is now...
I know.
I now just like abortions are now all performed by Shredder. I don't know if that's how I want to. I don't know if we're furthering the abortion.
I feel like we're pretty on point though with like the thought process with people that are against abortions.
Yeah.
Like Shredder is a perfect mascot.
Yeah,
like they picture the doctor doing it as Shredder.
Right.
I feel like
they're like outside the abortion clinic with like signs protesting with just a picture of Shredder. They're just like, "Is this where you want to send your children?"
Yeah.
You know, like abortion is wrong. Shredder's a bad man.
Shredder's actually a very qualified doctor and very ethical.
I mean, he wears that mask all the time. So.
But he still wears the doctor's mask over it too. I don't have themes for this one like we did for the last one, but I definitely have some random stuff here.
See what we can come up with.
So check this out. The only man in history ever to be a dwarf and a giant in one lifetime.
I think I've heard about that guy. Yeah.
Adam Rayner.
Dude.
Born in 1899 in Austria. lived the first 20 years of his life as a dwarf, never reaching over 4'8". By the age of 30, he reached to the height of 7'10". Holy fuck.
3 feet and 2 inches this man grew.
At 19 years old, so while he was still 4'8" at 19, his feet were size 10, which is pretty large.
Yeah, big old clown feet for someone that short.
And then in 3 years, his feet grew to size 20.
Dude,
so
that sounds so painful.
So uncomfortable.
It's the worst growing pains you've ever fucking imagined.
Plus, like, going shopping, forget about it.
No, yeah.
Just such a hassle.
Every 3 months, you're just, my feet.
They didn't have big and tall back then, and they definitely didn't have weird, fucked up, dwarf but huge feet stores.
Yeah.
So between the age of 21 and 30, he grew 3 feet.
That sounds just so painful. I can't even imagine. How long did he live?
He died at 50. So that's pretty good. Not bad.
Yeah.
But
I thought for sure at like 32 they were just like, yeah, and then he died of growing.
I think he actually
died of growing too tall.
But it was caused by a tumor growth in his pituitary gland that caused extreme hormone production.
Yeah. So dwarfism is dwarfism. What is it called when you're a giant?
Well, I've heard it called gigantism.
Gigantism. Okay, that sounds right.
I'm sure I know it has another name too,
way
but
cooler than dwarfism.
But okay, so what was this guy's life like? Like living the first...
That's a roller coaster for sure.
Living the first 20 years of your life as a dwarf. Not just shorter than average, but a dwarf.
This dude wished so hard to be tall. Like
he essentially had the equivalent of like if you could have one wish, what would it be? Yeah. Every dwarf would be like, I want to be super tall.
Yeah.
And he got it.
Yay!
Although...
All right.
His life was cut in half, but still.
Yeah. And he made some kind of terrible deal where he would have to fucking grow that 3 feet 10 inches painfully over the course of 10 years, you know? Not just
so
like,
much pain.
Poof, you're super tall.
Yeah.
Holy
Lots
fuck.
of growing pains.
Good God.
And like also... he lived in two extremes. Like, of course, he didn't want to be a dwarf, and then I'm sure he didn't want to be 7'10".
7'10" either. What the fuck?
I feel like he made a wish from a genie that was just a really bad genie.
Yeah,
like
one of those.
It was like Will Smith or
like
something.
A Pyrrhic victory where you win, but the cost is so great that it doesn't even matter that you won.
He's like, "What do you mean? I gave you what you wanted. Didn't you like what I did to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Wink, wink.
Deal with the devil type.
Didn't you like what I gave you, man? You ungrateful fuck."
Yeah.
But living 20 years as a dwarf, people like laughing at you, making fun of you, like getting around town is super tough. Kids are laughing at you. You have to climb up into chairs. And then essentially overnight, you're taller than anybody in any room at any time. Like you're essentially like the alpha in anywhere you go.
Yeah. So then do you go and exact your revenge on all
right, like after he grew that tall, was he just insufferable after that?
Yeah.
Like his ego was just
through the roof.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you want me to reach that for you?
Yeah.
No, he probably still just got made fun of a lot. They're just like, oh, you're going to hit your head. Watch out.
I don't know, man. I bet.
He just with windmill.
Yeah. Just grizzly bear swiped people with his giant paws. There's like, we liked you better when you were a dwarf, man. Yeah. You were cooler back then. You were like easier to get along with. You were fun. You were a good time back then. Now, all you do is now that you're 7 feet 10 inches tall, you just stand out on the sidewalk 7 days a week, staring intensely into people's eyes while you mash your dick.
Yeah, it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and people are just too afraid to say anything to you.
Yeah, I mean, well, if anyone said that to him, you'd just mash them with his dick.
And his dick is like over everyone's heads.
Yeah, and it's the size of one of his big old clown feet.
Yeah.
So,
I got another story. So also sort of a fucked up life. 21-year-old Naya Selway, I think is the way you pronounce it, is allergic to water. Straight up.
She's allergic to her whole body.
So the way it's described sounds sort of inconsistent and unbelievable because you would think like if you're allergic to water, you would just die.
Yeah.
But apparently,
Allergic how? You know, what's the reaction?
so apparently the only allergic reaction is the burning of her skin when it comes into contact of her skin. So externally, water touching her burns like unbearably almost. But inside her body, there's no side effects.
Yeah.
So her organs work fine. She drinks water. But she says when she takes a bath or a shower, she like falls asleep afterwards from exhaustion from the pain. And like urinating is so painful. And essentially like waking up every day is a brutal experience. Like you have to pee obviously, and then you have to also take a shower.
Yeah.
So her day just starts off with just
Yeah.
brutal burning all over her body. And then when she cries from the pain, her tears burn her face.
Right. So when she's drinking water and it spills down her mouth, would it burn her?
Probably. She's probably
She drinks
super
straws,
careful.
only drinks
Yeah,
straws.
probably. But apparently it's called aquagenic pruritus.
Or maybe their water is just really fucking hot.
Their water is 40% acid. So that fucking
that's
sucks.
Really weird. That's a strange, terrible condition to have. So I would just not take showers very much. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I was, because for one
I'm
thing,
definitely not waking up every morning and taking a shower.
yeah, I
don't
know
even do
showers.
that. I don't even do that now, and showers feel wonderful to me.
Yeah.
Showers burned my skin. I'm sorry.
Showers would not be a thing.
No.
For, like, and the thing is, like, if she's getting attention from boys her age, and she doesn't shower, that's got to be tough. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, you're nice to look at, but no one will ever touch you
Yeah.
because you smell like your whole body smells like an unwashed
And then
asshole.
they all spit on her because she stinks, and then it burns her.
Oh, and then she starts crying and she's just covered in spit and piss and tears.
screaming, and like steam is coming
Yeah.
out of her face because it's burning her, and then they're spit on the witch, it's burning her.
I bet if she watches fucking Wizard of Oz, she gets like trauma.
Yeah.
She's just like, I
She's
feel
just
for
having-
her.
She's having nightmares. I'm
melting. Sorry if you're listening to this. That sucks. I guarantee you're not. Go take a bath.
She won the worst kind of lottery.
Speaking of pee, though, I do have to go pee,
That's fine.
and it's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel fine. No burning.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
If she
honestly,
is
it's gonna be an enjoyable
If she is
experience.
listening to this, her tears are burning her face right
Yeah.
now.
So hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go pee. And we're back.
Indeed.
Does your pee ever smell like cereal?
No.
No?
Kind of cereal.
What's that cereal with like the weird frog on it and it's like little
Honey
corn?
Smacks?
It's like little corn things. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dude, my pee sometimes smells exactly like that.
Maybe my pee has smelled like Honey Smacks now that you mention it. Honestly, that's really weird you say that.
Like never eat that cereal, and it makes me wonder like why does their cereal smell like my pee? You know what I mean? So, traveler topics. Got a couple traveler topics. 72-year-old Frenchman Jean-Jacques fucking traveled the Atlantic in a barrel. A barrel.
The fuck? How big?
A
regular
10 by
barrel?
7 foot barrel.
Oh, that's a big barrel.
But I mean, I saw pictures of it,
just a
though. It's
10
not
foot by
big.
7 foot.
Yeah,
barrel, just a
like-
barrel.
like he had nowhere to move around, pretty
Nothing in
much.
there? What the fuck?
And he crossed the
Why?
fucking
What
Atlantic.
for? What, like by choice?
Yeah.
He was like, I'm gonna cross the ocean in this barrel.
He's quoted saying, the trip for him was a crossing where man is not captain of the boat, but passenger of the ocean.
I mean, dude.
And I'm like, well, that's exactly what you don't want.
Yeah, I mean, I respect it so
You-
much. Like,
What? You
I
don't
would-
want to
that's-
be at the
yeah,
mercy of the
that's
ocean.
most
Like,
terrifying position you could possibly put yourself in.
man for thousands of years has been like trying to perfect
Yeah,
safely crossing the ocean where the ocean is specifically not in control.
And that's why I give props to this dude for being like, fuck all those years of trying to figure this shit out. I'm just gonna trust the ocean to take me there.
You know what?
And the ocean,
I'm gonna get in a barrel.
Yeah, and the ocean was like, I got you, brother. Like, I'm gonna get you there in that barrel.
I mean, miraculously, he made it. He traveled the whole fucking...
I don't think there's anything scarier in the world than being at the mercy of the ocean, though.
I want absolutely nothing to do with the ocean, dude.
Scarier to me than that. I'm so terrified of
Pacific, Atlantic, sharks, any one of them.
Octopi.
I don't even really like rivers.
You know?
Dude,
pluralize octopus.
There are so...
Even a lake, I'm afraid I'm going to get bit by a shark. If seaweed touches my foot, like,
there could be a shark in there.
Like, any
you never know.
Water is just absolutely terrifying.
The way I see it is, I don't belong there.
Yeah. Right.
I'm a land creature,
right.
And
this
I'm
my realm.
perfectly made for land.
Yeah, I'm not.
Like... I like that it's there, but I don't want to...
I'm terrified of it, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's definitely a healthy fear of what power it holds.
There are just so many perils and dangers associated with the ocean.
If it gets inside you, it just kills you.
For one, you can't drink it.
Yeah, you'll just die.
Even though it's like a fucked up ironic joke.
Yeah.
It's like... You're stranded at sea, and all you can see for miles in any direction is water, but you can't drink that water.
Salt water is almost the exact same consistency as your blood, but you can't replace the one with the other.
And this guy figured he'd do this alone in a barrel at 72 years old.
That guy's a legend, man. I respect it.
He announced it on his Facebook page.
What? I would not have expected that guy to have a Facebook. Holy shit.
I'm like, dude, the lengths you went to just to be alone is pretty incredible, but in its own right. I feel like he also sort of just did this for like an epic Facebook post.
Yeah, really.
It's like no one's gonna have a better Facebook post than this all year.
He had to win social media for the year. Yeah, that was.
He's like, goal. I fucking win Facebook
it's not about being
this
a
year.
Passenger of the sea.
God, I roll my eyes at that a little bit.
Popular on Facebook.
Fucking jerk me off.
Yeah, please.
It took him 4 months, which he said it went by super quick.
What was in the boat with him? Food and shit?
He had dried food. He brought 2 bottles of wine, one for New Year's and one for his B-Day. And I'm like, dude, I would have had almost no food and all alcohol just to cope with what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just barrels of weed.
She's like, oh, I'm in a fucking barrel in the middle of the Atlantic. What am I doing? I'm 72 years old. I should be at home in a rocking chair right now.
I should be playing video. I mean, 3 days
watching my grandchildren.
3 days into that trip, I'd be like, Ocean, take me back. I'm in your hands, but please take me back the other way. I'm done.
Dude,
4 months?
I definitely would not want to be high during that experience because I feel like that would just be a nightmare. Like, I would just get baked and be like, I'm in a fucking barrel right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle. It's pitch dark outside.
The ocean starts laughing.
And all you can hear is waves crashing around you. And he had
And you realize all you've brought is spiders.
Just dried spiders. I guess he had a sunroof, but at the bottom, so he could see what was underneath him in the ocean.
Barrel?
He made it. At this point, he made it.
He's got a fucking porthole in the.
He's just a different kind of human being because, for one, would never do this. 2, definitely wouldn't want to see what was underneath me in the ocean.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look at all the sharks.
Yeah.
That's so majestic.
Unless he saw the fucking Leviathan, then it all would have been worth it.
He definitely would have won Facebook.
Believed him. And he definitely would have for the next 2 years at least.
Oh, but apparently, I guess he wrote a novel based off this.
He must have barely got it done.
Oh my god, dude. You are...
Well, this has been a barrel of laughs.
Dude, come on.
That one's not good.
Terrible. Unbearable. Okay.
Oh, man.
Another extreme traveler. So, a student pilot from Australia was departing from Australia on a solo training flight. So, basically one of his first times flying by himself.
Right.
student pilot.
Around the plane, just student pilot.
Yeah.
Just in case any of the other pilots are just like,
Be patient, student pilot.
yeah. This fucking guy's going so slow.
He's like, your blinker's been on for a mile.
The 747 behind like a propeller plane. Just,
Okay, so so apparently he got a headache, he claims, during like the beginning of his flight, and proceeded to put on autopilot so he could try to relax a little bit. Woke up to another pilot beside him as an emergency escort to realize that he had been unconscious flying for 40 minutes. So he's just like up in the air in a plane, asleep for 40 minutes. And people were trying to get in contact with him, like, hey, like, what's your position?
Just like,
are you okay?
You are like you're flying over restricted airspace.
Yeah, and he didn't respond for 40 minutes. So they're like, look, we got to contact some other pilot in his vicinity to escort him, like make sure he's good.
So when you say he woke up and there was another pilot next to him, they were like flying next to the plane. Next to him?
Yeah.
I thought like there was like a fucking second person in the plane.
There's like, hey, wake up.
Yeah, like I thought this was gonna be like an ethereal, like he saw a ghost pilot that helped him land safely.
Oh shit, that would have been way better story.
Like,
Good morning. This is your wake-up call.
There's a pilot like escort flying next to him, but what's he gonna do? Like, how is that helpful? He's just like, I'll just be here with you when you crash. Like,
I don't know how.
I'll be right here when you.
They like woke him up. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
He just like clipped his wing with the other wing, just like wake up.
Yeah. So I guess we weren't so far off with like a plane stuck behind the other plane. Fucking imagery there.
I mean, I don't know what woke him up, but he woke up 40 minutes later, and his excuse for falling asleep was that he skipped breakfast.
He knows his body so well. He's just like, I skipped breakfast, I got a headache, I fell asleep. That's what happens to me when I skip breakfast. You guys understand?
Time for your breakfast, dear.
Oh, I don't want breakfast, Ma. I want to go out and play.
Did I hear you say you didn't want any breakfast?
That's right.
Oh, breakfast?
What?
Don't you know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sing it, sister.
It's breakfast time, breakfast time, breakfast time, breakfast time, breakfast time, breakfast time. Come and get your breakfast on.
Gee, that sugar smack swing is a lot of fun. But I know something that's even more fun.
What's that?
And that's eating a big heaping bowl full of those golden puffs of wheat with milk all over them. Say, no wonder the swing is to Kellogg's Sugar Smacks.
And Mary, don't forget the swing to Smacks for snacks, because you can eat Sugar Smacks right out of the box.
Eat it, eat it.
Now chew it up, chew it up.
But in a terrible situation for Gatorade, he skipped breakfast, but he did have a Gatorade.
Oh God, is that bad?
And he passed out.
The marketing.
So,
this is a marketing nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for Gatorade.
You see what Gatorade did? Why did Gatorade do this?
Gatorade is not a replacement for breakfast. I just picture like this being on the news and having like the pilot in one half of the screen and then like a Gatorade representative on the other half of the screen. Newscaster's like, how do you explain this, Gatorade?
Well, that's how they frame the story. It's like, in other news, pilot today falls asleep behind the wheel for 40 minutes. Was it the Gatorade's fault? Find out more at 11. We have Tim Heidecker here from Gatorade. He's just got a toupee on. He's just like...
He's like, yes, I'm from Gatorade, just pouring sweat.
Yeah. So, sir, do you think that Gatorade was to blame for this man falling asleep? That he fell asleep for 40 minutes? Was it the electrolytes? What does Gatorade have to say?
The first thing he reached to when he fell victim to this headache was a Gatorade.
Okay.
The Gatorade was meant to cure his headache, and as far as we can tell, it did, because it relaxed him enough to where he fell asleep. It's scientifically impossible to fall asleep with a headache.
The Gatorade was able to help him relax enough to fall asleep.
That is correct.
Well, there you have it. And that's Tim Heidecker here with Gatorade. And in other news, we're going to head over to Jules Gianniton with weather.
And scene.
Nice one. We'll edit that out, too. The whole thing's gone. Chop it, cut it, leave it on the floor. It's garbage.
Okay, I got a couple more things here. These are drug related.
Holla, holla.
Nice. Yeah.
A 1,000-year-old drug pouch was found by archaeologists in South America recently.
Narcs.
The pouch was made of 3 fox snouts sewed together, which is pretty cool.
That's fucking awesome. Sounds like some MacGyver shit. What are we gonna keep our drugs in? Give me 3 fox noses.
Yeah, it's what?
I'll make you a pouch. How about just 1 fox?
Wait, are there even foxes in South America?
I didn't know that. I guess some kind of breed of them, I'm sure. I don't know.
I just picture this guy like, I got a bag design in my head, and I gotta go look for foxes.
Yeah, I need 3
to make this happen.
3 fox noses to.
I wanted 4, but I can only find 3, so I made it work.
But
I think it still turned out good.
Couldn't fit all my drugs in it.
Yeah.
I just did some of
Well,
them.
here's the thing. Apparently, it's the largest find of drug residue ever found on a archaeological site. Within the pouch, there was residue of cocaine, DMT, bufotenine, don't even know what that is, harmine, and benzoylecognine.
I mean, this dude's got some fucking drugs.
Smoke weed every day.
When was this?
But apparently these ones that I can't pronounce are also very powerful.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, this dude was just a traveler.
Wow.
He also had tools in his pouch that were like artistically crafted. He had a plate, he had crushing utensils, and he had like a really artistically carved straw to snort
Dude, this
the
guy's
stuff.
like an inspiration.
Yeah, and it actually, I saw images of it. It was like really cool looking.
Traveling drug salesman from fucking.
I mean, he was the plug. I bet he was.
Sure. Benzos before they even invented benzos.
Yeah, I mean, and like the archaeologists were like, we're pretty sure this guy crushed up every drug he had in his pouch together to make like an intensely psychoactive snuff to snort. This would have just blown you away.
I mean, you're doing benzos and coke and fucking.
For one, like, yeah, like you're tripping so deep with all those compounds mixed together, and then you're also awake forever.
Yeah.
From the stimulant.
And you're not like, I mean, this is a long time ago. You're not used to drugs. You've never done mind-altering substances.
It's sort of arguable because, like, especially if you were a shaman or something like that, like, those people got fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's hilarious that he was snorting this. I mean, it's super efficient and makes sense, but
how did you find that out?
I feel like in a way people who did that sort of stuff were sort of respected because they were like in touch with the spirit realm sort of thing. Like they went to the other side bravely and talked with the gods, essentially, is what they were doing. Or he was just like, look, I just really hate reality. So I'm just going to be fucked up all the time.
I just wonder what that concoction was doing to him, you know? Like, what was that like to do those drugs?
Dude, I don't even know.
He's like, I've seen death. Like,
I've seen things you cannot
Yes,
imagine.
See some shit, snort some of this.
I do cocaine!
Another drug-related incident. Grandmother with CBD oil was arrested at Disneyland.
What the fuck?
So that right there, you're like, what the fuck?
Come on.
Orange County deputy found CBD in her purse. Why was he even looking in her purse?
What are you doing in her purse, bro? Didn't your mom tell you not to put your hands in there?
I mean, it's just,
How old
and
is
it's a
this lady?
grandmother.
She's a grandmother.
I think she's 69 years old.
Good God. The sex number. What? Wasn't
really not
Carl's
even a
Jr.
drug.
Selling a CBD burger? Like,
Yeah.
There's a CBD donut at Blue Star Donuts. Like, what, am I gonna get arrested?
Then after being arrested, she spent 12 hours behind bars and a $2,000 bond.
Well, that's how you radicalize.
She used the CBD for arthritis after it being prescribed to her by a doctor, and she even had the doctor's note in her purse.
Oh, I am so irritated. I don't know what in the hell's going on.
Like, how big of a prick piece of shit do you have to be to to not know that that's just not how we treat humans.
But the sheriff of the Orange County Police Department defended the deputy for making the arrest, quoting like, well, these are Orange County laws. Possession of CBD is against the law in Orange County, so he was doing his job. Blah, 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 blah. It's also legal to sell CBD in any public store.
Yeah.
You're just not allowed to have it. So that sort of seems like a mousetrap to me.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So that's retarded.
So lawful doesn't always mean right.
That situation, I think, is warranted the word retarded.
Yeah.
I feel totally fine saying that. That is retarded.
I hit my chest with the inside of my...
I drool on that cop, sir. And plus, dude, she's a grandmother. A great-grandmother. I feel like when you have great in your title, like you've reached the age, you've lived so many years that you are now a great-grandmother.
Yeah.
You should be allowed to do almost, like you should be immune to laws, I feel like at that point. Like
come on,
live the rest of your life lawless.
Put your CBD down, Grandma. She's like, that's great-grandma to you. And
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. No.
Oh, excuse me.
Forgive me.
He's like, show me your ID. She's like, great. It says great.
Says great right
Back
there.
the fuck up.
Yeah, it's got a great seal on it. The government does not get to fucking tell you what you can and can't do with your body. And if you can buy CBD, but you can't have it on you.
I mean, that makes absolutely no sense.
Fuck yourself. Go arrest someone else. Go shoot a black man standing outside a 7-Eleven. Like,
yeah, you got better stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we should be happy they're arresting 69. Was she white?
She was white.
I mean, I guess we should be happy they're out there arresting white women for CBD oil instead of just gunning down my...
Yeah, let's balance the scale.
Yeah. I'm glad that cop spent a few minutes arresting that white woman instead of gunning down a minority that day. I'm sure the next day he got a couple.
She didn't get hurt. Yeah, I'm sure he made up for
He made
it.
up his quota the next day. He shot like 6 dudes and a kid.
I'm sure he switched out his 9mm for a fully automatic banana clip.
The police are
AK-47
down the street.
It's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, we gotta make up for yesterday. Yeah. We got 0 yesterday.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get 10 a day.
People are just like, they're out here killing us in the streets, man. These police is out here killing us. You don't believe us.
It's like, we have quotas.
Yeah, Fox News is just like, he shouldn't have had a gun on him. They're like, this is a right to carry state. We have concealed weapons permits. But your skin is black and you had a gun. So
it's like, yeah, but you're black though. Don't you get it? Don't you? I thought we've been through this.
Yeah, we've been through this. We shoot you.
Terrible.
This is what
But it's also real.
Yeah, this is. These are my hyperbolic feelings about the police.
So, I mean, hey, that's all I got for stories. But, I mean, a lot of times we're just going to have to try to squeeze a laugh out of a terrible situation.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's all humor is, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway. I've seen so many videos of police just
gunning
down innocent people, like, in cold blood. And then nothing happens to the police officer. They just get literally paid vacation. So it's like, holy fuck, dude. Like that woman.
Are you in a murder investigation? Here's a vacation.
Yeah. Like that police officer that was off duty, drunk, came home to her apartment complex, tried to get in the wrong door, thought she was trying to get into her apartment supposedly, but it was the wrong apartment. So she breaks into the apartment and shoots the unarmed black man that lives there because it's his fucking apartment. But she thought, she was so drunk, she thought that she was trying to get into her own house and that she had gotten locked out of her own apartment. So she breaks in, draws her gun, sees that there's someone in her place and shoots him dead. And she's like on trial right now for it. I don't know what's going to happen, if she's going to get convicted of murder or not, but it's like, that's cut and dry. Like,
they should convict her and send her to an all-male prison.
Yeah, nigga. Boss hog outlaws. Yeah.
Like, that's 100% cut and dry murder. Just because it's a police officer, she was off duty. Like,
why are you going out drinking with your gun too? Like,
why do we have any standard different for a police officer than we do for anyone else? Like,
I mean, to be completely honest, is it sympathize or empathize? I can never remember with cops and just what their job entails. Like, the amount of stress that they have is probably besides being in war, that's probably the most stressful job you can possibly have, or situation you can be in, just day to day. You know what I mean? And they do deal with a ton of people that are dangerous and could do anything at any moment, and people that lie and people that talk back to them and give them trouble. But like, those experiences don't make it okay for you to treat everyone as though that is who they are.
Right.
Obviously. You have to do your best. If that's your job, like, you have to do your best to treat every single person and situation as a new situation that you can't just assume is going to escalate to violence.
Right. And I mean, and that's what they're trained to de-escalate situations. They're trained for.
But it seems like they escalate things themselves more often than not.
That's what it looks like to me too, and that's where it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, I definitely respect the stress level of a police officer's job and respect the job that they do. And I don't think by any means all police officers are bad, but when there's all these videos of them clearly escalating situations beyond what they need to be, letting their emotions get the better of them. I know they're human, but you have to hold them to a higher standard. Like, you have to hold yourself to a higher standard. If you choose to be the fucking protector of society, if you choose to be the person keeping order, then you need to keep order over yourself first and foremost. And if you can't do that, like, then you don't get to do that job. I mean, just the fact that they draw their guns on people in traffic stops, like, straight away, you know? Like, if you think about the UK, the police officers don't really even carry guns in these places. So it's like, America's a different place, you know? We have a different relationship with violence than the rest of the world, and sometimes I forget to take a global perspective on things and think about, this is how it is in America, but is this how people think in other places? And is their line of thinking any less logical than Americans' line of thinking?
But we also are one of the most dangerous places you can live at in certain areas.
And violent people.
Like, Chicago is one of the most dangerous places in the world in certain areas of Chicago. I know a guy who was a former cop in Chicago. Yeah. And he said, he was like, there is 100% corruption that I saw firsthand, like, with cops. He's like, and I just couldn't do it anymore. He's like, one instance, all the cops in the area would get calls of someone with a gun, and it was like a game. Everyone in the area would race to see who could get there first and unload their clip. And whoever unloaded their clip first won. Jeez. Just won whatever game that is.
That's why you hear about fucking black kids in Chicago getting shot with 87 bullets. They was shot 96 times. Unloaded their clips and then reloaded and then continued shooting his limp body.
He walked up really quickly with open arms as though to wrestle me to the ground.
Yeah, with a huge smile on his face.
And he kept calling my first and last name, saying, "It's so good to see you." And I had no idea who he was.
Had a sign around his neck that said "free hugs."
Yeah.
So of course I shot him.
Yeah.
This is a justified shooting, stamped approved. 2 weeks vacation. It's like that old fucking skit of Dave Chappelle. Sprinkle some crack on him. Let's get out of here. Like,
it's so true, though.
It's fucking funny because it's taking something true to a little bit of an absurd level, but like, that is like not even absurd. That's just like reality.
Yeah. In war, you probably shouldn't play fair if you want to win. And that's probably what their thinking is. This is a war, and I want my side to win, and if planting this shit is gonna help us win the war, then
right, I get that.
I'm a soldier of Chicago. Like,
yeah, I feel that.
You know,
I bet a lot of them do look at it that way.
And you want to go home later that night, and you don't want to die, so you're gonna do everything you can to make sure you don't die, even if that means shooting first. Humans, one day we might look back and be like, I can't believe humans were cops. Yeah. They're just gonna all be fucking AI robots. Right. You are breaking the law. I have no feelings about this one way or the other, but I have to do my job.
Yeah.
I apologize. Tell me if the cuffs are too tight.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As you're beating your head and smashing your head. I'm sorry.
You're killing me. You still have 15% life.
6 more bashes.
6 more bashes. I will do 5.
I, for one, I welcome our robot over
What if that's the only chance we have at a utopia? is to allow robots to govern us.
Just turning it over to robots, being like, just make all the choices because we keep fucking it up, dude. We don't care enough about each other and ourselves to fucking do the right thing. So, I mean, doesn't sound bad to me. Turn it all over to an AI, man. I say we just let internet polls decide everything. Just dismantle the government and everything goes to an internet poll. Every single decision.
It's either going to be either AI robots or, of course, reptilian alien overlords.
Reptile.
Yeah.
So it's one or the other. Or if Shredder really gets on the ball and gets a lot of funding to make a lot of his ideas come to life.
Yeah, Shredder 2020.
What's his campaign slogan? They're babies. They don't know what's right for them. I do.
Make America scraped again. Please. Don't encourage me, dude.
I can't do it.
Don't encourage me at all, please. Can Donald Trump beat Shredder in the polls? I don't know. I mean, after all that Shredder's done for the communities in all these swing states, he's really popular in the Rust Belt. They really like him.
The Rust Belt?
He's bringing coal jobs back. He's Shredder 2020. You know?
And if you don't allow us our rights, you will be shredded.
Right. Yeah.
Like...
You'll be shredded. It's what I do. It's in my name. I mean, I didn't go to 8 years of shredding medical school to not be called Dr. Shreddington.
Dude, make America scraped again. Give me a break. That's awesome. T-shirt.
Scraping wombs.
Dude, we have some T-shirt ideas,
Yeah,
I feel like.
Shredder's claw scraping.
Yeah. All right, well, I feel like we had a really good time. I hope everyone listening to this had a good time. Thanks for listening to your friends.
Thanks for listening, guys.
And
some good barrel puns out of this.
Email us if you feel like it. We do have an email. It's ltyfers@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us your opinions on shit you want to hear us talk about. Or, you know, tell us if we're wrong about some shit we just talked about.
Yeah, maybe just send us some hate mail. Hopefully the girl who cries burning tears can send us a letter, a half-soaked letter with her tears.
You guys made fun of me.
Tell us how much it burned.
You retard.
All right.
I just wanted to get one in because you said it earlier. I don't know why I did that. We'll edit it out. Okay?
No, we won't, because that would be retarded.
Fuck. All right.
Bye.
Bye.